Hi guys, so today I'm gonna talk about a theme that everyone is asking me about, like how should I choose my perfect board, what type of board should I buy, and it's all really relative depending on your skill, your body type, your weight, your height, the way you want to surf. I always choose my boards by comparing myself and having a goal of be the most performance possible. There is some people that they want more speed, they want to glide more, but they don't want to be as sharp, as fast turning. So it all depends of what type of surfing you want to do, if it's performance, if it's more like soul surfing, if it's more like chill surfing. But I'm gonna give you a few tips that in my experience, like I normally try to do. Already tried all the type of boards from Almeric, DHD, and some JSs. And yeah, every brand has their own good models. Even Paizo too. Every brand have really good models. It all depends the way you want to surf and the way you like to surf too. But of course, I was competing, so I always try to be more keeping with the rhythm of competition surfing. And yeah, I just realized now that I always worked with a local shaper, Rasman, and then there was a time that I was trying different brands, international brands, and now I came back to him, and it's been so nice to be working with him because we started to do a board, and after that board we start working on that board on like needs more rocker, less rocker, I want to be sharper, I want to surfing more close to the pocket, I want to turn faster, I want to have more speed, I want to have less speed, I want to have more control, and it's been super nice. So what normally I advise is like the person has a board, okay? That board has some types of characteristics, and then with a local shaper or like it's really important to work with someone to see what you want to change in your surfing. For example, I choose Rasman did me a board, and then I've surfed with that board, and for example, I didn't like it. I didn't like the board in the pocket, or the board could have more speed, and then he starts adapting to my feedback, and we start changing little things that make all the difference. For example, I have one board for smaller waves, for example, have more speed, less rocker, but then in bigger waves or more pockety sections, the board doesn't react as good as for example, my all-around board. But then my all-around board doesn't really work on stronger conditions where I need to have more control. So I use my board with the most rocker possible. So I don't only use one board. I use, for example, in my Kiva I have 3 boards that I use all the time, like small waves, medium waves, not a bit more power, and then like more powerful waves. So you should not depend only on one board. It's really hard for one board to do all the work. Years ago when I was 14 the ISA, I was using SPO2 from Cartagena, a local shaper, again Portuguese shaper, and we were working a lot too on different models, and I was always giving him feedback and he was adapting to my feedback, and it was working really good. So normally people are like, oh, the international brands are gonna be better, that board is gonna make my surfing amazing, crazy, and it's not necessarily like that. If you work with a shaper and if you start consistent work and you have the right feedback with the right footage, that shaper can do a really nice work, and I'm grateful to be working with Rasman, to have been working with SPO, and just make me realize that these shapers, they can do really good boards, and because people normally they really go for the brand, it's like the car, and it's not in surfing. It's not necessarily like that. If you give the right feedback, like any shaper can do a really nice board that fits your surfing, and that makes you surf better. For example, with Rasman, this was probably the 3rd board that I've made with him this year, and it has less rocker than the first model that we made. Why? Because I was like, Rasman, the board is really fast, but in the pocket, she can turn faster down, she can be more spicy, she can be more sharp. And then I told her after Maldives, the waves were really good. I was like, Razvan, the board is good, but I want more rocker. And this board, it has a lot of rocker. It's a board similar to like Rook 15, for example, from America. What this is gonna give me is giving me a lot of control in pockety sections. Because normally I surf almost just good waves here in Peniche, so I really love the rocker. He's doing another one with a little bit more rocker, because I'm so excited to try it, because the board gets so much more like loose under your feet and reacts so much more to your movements, and it goes up and down way faster. But in small waves, for example, because it has too much rocker, it loses a lot of speed. So, and you need always to be putting energy on the board. So it all depends too of where you live, what quality of waves you have, and of course the volume. I use 0.35 multiplying by my weight. Normally good surfers, performance surfers, they multiply their weight by from 0.35 until 0.38. I like to be use a little bit lower volume because I'm more like a rail surfer. But then of course more volume sometimes gives you more pop in airs, but then it doesn't in the rail. I think it's a little bit worse. I like to be more under the water to use the rail better. And now this new board, for example, this new board has less rocker than the board that I'm using the most now with a lot of rocker. It has less rocker, but it has more rocker than that flat board. So I've been actually using this board the last few days. It's a really good board. It's more like an all-around board. It's really forgiving. It's good in stronger waves, but not too much like not too pockety like Super Tubes, for example. I can surf in Belgium really well. And it really works on small waves too. So it's a really good board, for example, for competition, that the waves are not all the time good, you know? Most of the times the waves are really bad. So, of course, the board that I like to use the most is the one with the most rocker, but it doesn't work in all the conditions. So, as you see, to choose the right board, it's not only one board that's gonna give you everything, it's like you need to have a little quiver for you to use in different conditions. There is no perfect board. There is good boards for different type of conditions. And like I said before, some people like more volume, other people like less volume. For the people, for example, that they don't know how to put much energy on the board to generate speed on the board, I advise a little bit more volume than 0.38. I would advise 0.39 up, because otherwise you're gonna sink in the water, because with these low volume boards, you really need to put all the time energy, so you already need to be a really skilled surfer. And yeah, I really like this board. I was surprised because I was like, Razvan, this board has less rocker, so we have been working on that. But you actually already had this board there to make, so I just accepted, and it worked really well, and I'm surprised. The foam is super important. You always choose these really light foams, but that they get destroyed faster. Really, you just use this one layer of 4 and another layer of 4 down, one up and one down. So it's really fragile boards, but then they are really flexible, they're really reactive. And yeah, I've been using Texel, I've been using Formula 1 from SPO. They're really nice blanks, really soft. I don't like hard blanks, because then the board stays with less life and less reactive. So for that guys that want to have the board really beautiful and without pressure dings, okay, the board is gonna stay beautiful, but then it doesn't perform the same way as a light, fragile board, for example. It's super important that you can film your sessions too, because sometimes I feel that I really like that board, but then I go see the footage, it's not working that good, it's not having the expression, or it's not working the way I want the board to look. And sometimes I feel like, oh, the board is kind of like, I don't know, I feel weird, I don't really trust the board or something, and then I see the videos and it looks really good, and then I get confident on that board. So it's super important that you film your sessions for you to like do better conclusions of if the board really works on that conditions, if it really works for you, the way you want to surf. So guys, see the footage, have someone to film you, and let's check it now.
Tá bom achar que vai? So yeah guys, I hope you learned a little bit more about how you can choose the board. It's not everything, of course. If you want to know more specific things, yeah, book your session in my website. I will explain you all the details, and I even have my own course about how to choose the right surfboard for you. So yeah, I hope you like it, and like and subscribe.